All right, welcome back to the channel. If you're preparing for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam, today's question is going to be a really good one for you. It looks simple at first glance, but it packs a little twist that often catches people off guard. So stay with me till the end, because understanding the why behind the correct choice makes a huge difference in real exam scenarios. Let's jump right into it. Let's look into the question first. A media company wants to create a personalized audio experience by converting written news articles into realistic human-like speech. They require high-quality voice synthesis that can scale on demand and support multiple languages. Which AWS service best meets this requirement? And here are the options: Amazon Polly, Amazon Lex, Amazon Comprehend, Amazon Bedrock. All right, so now that we've read through the question and all the options, let's walk through this together in a natural way. Now, this one's really interesting because at first, your brain might jump to one of the AI or ML services, right? I mean, we're talking about creating human-like speech, something that sounds natural, something that scales, and something multilingual. So on the surface, it feels like several AWS services could fit. But hang on, because this part's super important. Not all AI services on AWS handle speech the same way. So let's break this down together. First, think about what the company is actually asking for. They want written news articles to come alive as speech. They want voices that don't sound robotic, voices that feel natural, human-like, even expressive. And they also want this to work for people across different languages. That's a big requirement. And on top of all that, this needs to scale on demand. So if millions of users are listening at the same time, the service shouldn't choke or require the team to manage servers manually. It needs to be something fully managed and ready to ramp up instantly. So what does this really mean for you when you're picking a service? Let's talk through each option in a simple conversational way so it sticks. Amazon Lex might sound tempting, especially because Lex deals with conversational AI. But here's the catch. Lex is designed for building chatbots. It listens, understands, responds, but it doesn't turn long-form text into polished, lifelike audio for listeners. So Lex is a no for this use case. Amazon Comprehend is another one students often choose by accident. You might be thinking, well, it works with text, maybe. And yes, you're right, it does work with text, but not in the way we need. Comprehend analyzes text. It pulls out meaning, sentiment, entities, but what it doesn't do is generate speech. So while it's powerful, it's not giving us the audio output we need. Let's move to Amazon Bedrock. This one is new and exciting. It's all about foundation models, Gen AI, building custom AI solutions. And honestly, it's amazing for things like text generation, image generation, embeddings, and multimodal workflows. But here's the thing. Bedrock is not specifically designed for high-quality text-to-speech synthesis. So even though it sounds fancy, it's not the right tool for this job. Which brings us to Amazon Polly, and this is where everything clicks. Polly is literally built for this exact purpose. It takes text and turns it into incredibly natural speech using learning models. It supports tons of languages, dozens of realistic voice styles, and it's fully managed, meaning you don't worry about servers at all. You feed text, and boom, Polly gives you clean, clear audio. And the best part? It scales effortlessly, whether you're converting one article or 1,000. So the correct answer is Amazon Polly. And honestly, once you understand what each service actually does, it becomes almost impossible to forget this one. Polly is the go-to text-to-speech service in AWS. And whenever you see a question about converting written content to human-like voice, you can almost bet the answer is Polly. So to wrap this up, remember this simple tip. If the question is about talking to users, Lex. If it's about analyzing text, Comprehend. If it's about creating speech, Polly. If it's about building with foundation models, Bedrock. Let's look into the second question. A retail company wants to stream desktop applications to employees without requiring installation on local machines, enabling high-performance access from any device. Which service is the best fit? And here are the options: Amazon AppStream 2.0, Amazon Workspaces, AWS IoT Greengrass, AWS Device Farm. All right, now that we've got the full picture, let's break this down together. Now, this one's really interesting because when people first start preparing for the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam, They often mix up AppStream 2.0 and workspaces. And honestly, it makes sense. Both of them deal with end user computing. Both let people connect to resources in the cloud. But hang on, because this part's super important. They solve very different problems. So what does the company actually need here? Let's pause for a second and think about it. They want to stream desktop applications, not full desktops, not entire operating systems, just specific apps. And they want users to be able to open those apps instantly from any device without doing local installs. You might be wondering why this happens. Why companies even need this? Well, imagine you've got hundreds or thousands of employees, maybe contractors, maybe temporary staff, all needing access to the same internal app. You don't want everyone installing it locally. You don't want to deal with version mismatches, compatibility issues, or people installing the wrong patch. And you definitely don't want to manage it across every device type on the planet. So this is where AppStream 2.0 shines. It streams applications directly from AWS to the user's browser. Not the whole desktop, just the app. High performance, no installation, and it works on laptops, Chromebooks, tablets, you name it. That's exactly what the question is hinting at. But before we get into why AppStream is the correct choice, let's talk through the other options. Amazon Workspaces sounds tempting, right? It gives users a cloud-based desktop. But that's the thing. It's a full desktop. That's overkill if all you need is a single app or a handful of apps. Workspaces is great when users need persistent desktops, but that's not what this company is asking for. Next up, AWS IoT Greengrass. This one throws people off sometimes, like because they see the word applications and think it might work. But Greengrass has nothing to do with end user streaming. It's for IoT devices, edge compute, sensors, smart factories, not office workers wanting to open apps. And then there's AWS Device Farm, also misleading if you've never used it. Device Farm lets developers test their mobile or web applications across tons of simulated devices. It's awesome for testing, but it's definitely not for streaming apps to employees. So what does this really mean for you? When you see keywords like stream applications, no local installation, and high performance from any device, your brain should immediately go, AppStream 2.0. It's literally designed for this. You take your desktop apps, put them in AWS, and stream them securely and smoothly to whoever needs them. No installs, no headaches, no IT calls saying, hey, the app isn't working on my laptop. So the correct answer is Amazon AppStream 2.0. To wrap this up in a friendly way, let me give you a super simple exam tip. If the question is about streaming desktop applications, AppStream 2.0. If it's about fully managed virtual desktops, Workspaces. If it's IoT edge computing, Greengrass. If it's testing mobile apps, Device Farm. Keep these patterns in mind and you'll start recognizing these questions instantly. And that wraps up this question. Hopefully you can see how understanding the purpose behind each AWS service makes these exam scenarios way easier to navigate. It's not just about memorizing names, it's about recognizing the patterns, the keywords, and what the question is really asking for. If you keep practicing like this, you'll start spotting the right answer almost instantly. And trust me, the more questions you go through, the more confident you'll feel heading into the real AWS exam. If you found this helpful, stick around. We've got plenty more practice questions coming up, each one designed to boost your understanding and help you think like the exam does. So stay tuned, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.